Hello everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. It is time for our weekly painting progress, and I have some company this week. So, my dad, as I've mentioned on this channel before, if I can get things in better focus there, is an avid toy soldier collector. Precisely the 1/32nd scale stuff that Britons and many other companies have put out over the years. And it just so happened, as a fan of military history and reading about all of the famous activities that have occurred throughout various wars in our history, my dad has always had a penchant for collecting interesting figures in very specific theaters of war. And it just so happened that War Games Atlantic here put out a set of Chindits. And if you don't know who the Chindits are, well, I guess you can go look at Wikipedia or you can listen to me ramble on some more. They were primarily active in Burma between about 43 and 44 as an expeditionary kind of saboteur special forces operating behind Japanese lines and having fun jungle adventures. So, the nice thing about our 3D printing is that we can totally scale these things up. So rather than just have traditional 25/28 millimeter figures, I went ahead and blew them up to about 54 millimeters for my dad, so he could have some nicely scaled Chindits to go along with all of his other Burmese theater figures that he has collecting on his shelves. So these are totally resin cast, and just to give you a good idea of the height, my usual, let's see, Witch Hunter? Inquisitor? I don't remember his specific title, but anyway, these are all multi-part figures, but he specifically asked for some marching type guys. So you can see they are all decked out in the traditional colors. They are a bit glossy because the metal figures that he has also are a bit glossy, and he wanted them to kind of fit right in. So interesting thing about the Chindits is while they were part of the Indian Army, British Army at the time, they had a lot of forces coming in from West Africa, so we went ahead, and since they had the files available, he tried to paint up some Nigerians and various other Africans for the march through the jungles. Now, unfortunately, I can see that, and he promised me he was not trying to make any kind of stereotypical looking African gentleman, but getting a good dark skin tone and the gloss is not really helping things. But altogether, they came out pretty decent, I think. Gotta have a guy with the machine gun. And unfortunately, this is just the first of his expeditionary forces. I've already gone ahead and printed up even more for him, so we should have more of these in the future. And I know he's looking forward to getting those painted up as well, and I'm still printing parts for him, so who knows how many more he's going to end up with. His eyes are about as, actually, they're a better job than some of mine. We'll complain about my figures in just a moment, so kudos to my dad for getting his Chindits done. I have a feeling I'm probably going to end up having to do Maoris or British that were involved in the Maori Wars, because I see there are files for those as well, so hopefully we'll get those coming up. What did I get done this week? Well, in the interest of just trying to get things out of the way, I've had this Papsicles, I want to say it was an Exterminator. Yeah, I want to say that's what it was called, but we went ahead and just gave him a nice quick paint job. One thing I like about the Papsicle metal endoskeleton machines is that they're a lot more durable than the licensed stuff that was put out in plastic, unfortunately. I thought those guys were really frail and tended to snap and break quite easily. I have not had that issue with the Papsicles stuff that I've printed. They're pretty nice and durable. Besides that, if we're going to continue with the Mecha theme, I guess, at least for a moment, I painted up the first of my Scorpions from Piper Makes. I have mentioned Piper's stuff many times, and If there is anybody that goes above and beyond what they need to when it comes to just having a ridiculous amount of parts available and cross-compatibility at that, you cannot go wrong with Piper's stuff. She just belts out a ton of junk every month, more than I could ever finish printing. And honestly, the amount of parts left over from both the Void Crafted, these are Void Crafted, this is a Scorpion class Void frame, if I want to get really technical, and the, what would the fish stuff called? I don't have any handy. That many. Got like one of the flying ones. I have got so many random spare parts that I could probably build an entire multiple kill teams worth of figures just with the various Piper parts I've got laying around. And I think that only comes in second to maybe like the stuff from Calamity's Ashes, which, by the way, has a new campaign starting very soon. So you probably should keep an eye on this channel if you want me to keep you informed, because I know I'm going to be eyeing that very, very eagerly. But these are really cool. I like the fact that we have, and this is something that we've seen with a lot of the Void frame figures so far, is they have a lot of pointy little non-footed feet, for lack of a better term, but like these blade feet on this one. So with that tannish color, you can kind of imagine where I was going with this and what it would be used in lieu of if you had certain types of space elves. But just the variety in terms of figures, and like I said, they're all cross-compatible. You'll notice that the arm designs are quite similar with the two Void class frames here. Void frames. I don't remember. This is a Lorican, I believe. I don't remember the exact terminology at the moment, and I don't have the internet handy, so I can't correct myself. But anyways, really fun. Tons of parts. I know I've got probably at least 7 or 8 of them that I need to finish. So this is kind of my first shot at it. Hopefully we'll see some more in the near future. And then since we did a bunch of War Games Atlantic figures earlier, I have a random Japanese peasant farmer. Why he's got the dual commas, I'm not sure, but he is exasperated from having to toil in the fields, obviously. Wiping your head with that thing, I don't know if that would be the best sweat absorber, but, you know, I'm not a rice farmer from the Sengoku era either, so what do I know? What else we got? Another of the dwarves from Mom Miniatures has some very fun forest dwarves. This being a shaman mage type. Really fun, quick, easy paint jobs. I can handle that. And they come out quite nice too. Gotta give them credit for that. And finally, because I seem to always have another Raging Heroes figure that needs to get done, this one, I believe, was originally from the Celtic set, except I painted her up as a hero to go along with all the Bestiarium Altdorf Empire-type men-at-arms that I have. She's a little bit larger than them, but I think she'll look quite nice. So I did try to match the red dress with their tunics, along with the blue sleeves and leggings. And I at least tried to play around with, I didn't want to mess with the tartan too much. But, oh my god, I've noticed more and more as I'm trying to paint the details on some of these figures, and I know it's at a 4 zoom at the moment. It's like, I gotta start taking my glasses off to really paint this stuff and get like all those details in there. It's kind of crazy. But I'm pleased with her. I think in the end she came out alright. And again, I think if we're sitting on the tabletop, she'll look fine. It's not going to make a huge difference. But, you know, she's suitably epic. I guess I can go get some of the random men-at-arms that have been in various sets from Raging Heroes to paint up similar. But, you know, it's always nice to have the Bestiarium stuff also. So, again, a very eclectic mix, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And hopefully I can finish up some of the other figures that have been plaguing my table in need of being finished. Actually, our exterminator metal framed friend here has been sitting around for quite some time, so I'm glad he's out of the way. We can get him done, we can get everybody else done. And if I can get these done, you guys can too, because I had 3 birthdays within the last week. We've had various performances that both of my kids have been needed to attend. Back and forth every day, all day, in the car, no time to paint. So if I can manage it, so can you. And I would love to see what everybody else is up to. So if you want to hit that hashtag weekly painting progress, whenever you post stuff online on social media, that way I can check it out. I'll be trying to do the same, and we can encourage each other then, yeah? Yeah, that sounds good. As always, we'll have the links down below. If you want to hunt any of this down yourself, take a look at it, enjoy it, and do it better than me, I would be more than happy to see. I'm going to leave it at that then, I guess, because I am having a watch pointed at me that I need to wrap it up. Okay, so with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.